So tell me about this new exciting project of yours, Mindkraft. What is Mindkraft?
Mindkraft. It's exciting. Wiring your brain to learn languages.
Wiring your brain to learn languages. What does that mean? Like it sounds very scientific.
Yeah, it's a scientific. Well, if you've ever seen any of these interviews when I go out there, and what's the first question that people ask me when they find out that you speak a bunch of languages? They say, how did you learn?
Yeah.
And over the years, I've given answers, and maybe they've answered the point, maybe not. But it's not that I'm gifted at languages, and I think this is the point that I've always wanted to put across. So to finally answer the question, how do you learn languages? I bit the bullet and I put a course together to teach people how to learn languages.
So Mindkraft program that you're doing is a program where you teach people, and especially kids, on how to learn new languages. It doesn't matter whether or not it would be Chinese or Korean or whatever. It's just like basic fundamental ways of learning languages.
Okay, so there are a couple of things that you mentioned there. Is it for kids? Kids learn faster. I spent time out at Verso International School the other week, and we did a little intro to this. It was super fun, where I taught Morse code and sign language alphabets simultaneously, and we did it in about 20 minutes. And they had fun, they had questions, and they just picked it up. There weren't any questions, oh, am I going to be able to do this? And then they were super inquisitive when it was coming to how do you learn languages? I actually have this language I want to learn. Some wanted to learn Japanese, Korean, Spanish. And so the reason why kids is because I think that they don't have any obstacles in the way to learn. I am, however, opening this up to kids and adults.
Right. Is that also because kids haven't had a lot of information in their brain, so it's easier for them to learn, while adults have to relearn?
Right. Have to relearn. I think one of the biggest obstacles in kids learning many languages and getting really fluent in other languages other than, say, their mother tongue, or if you're living in a country like this, many of the international kids have 2 languages, are the parents. The parents might say, oh, that's too much, you don't need to learn that, you're just going to get confused. And they've got this thought that the brain is this limited capacity, and if you put too much in, it's going to be too hard. And these kids I saw last week, they just proved that wrong. You saw, actually, I started this with one young guy called Sean several years ago. He was 11 years old, and we just pushed and pushed and pushed the brain without him realizing that his brain was being pushed. And not only did he have languages, he got coding skills, he got music, jazz theory, data security, everything in 18 months. He got a huge education. And so, getting back to it, I think with the kids, they don't have this feeling that it's impossible. Now, the reason we're putting this together, because I want the parents to get this excitement too, to see that not only can your kids do it, but
you can do it too.
That's correct.
And it's actually true, because I've started IPA and Italian. And it's actually, I'm 33, and I thought my brain wouldn't be able to function anymore, but it's actually possible.
Okay, so you mentioned IPA, and so that's the International Phonetic Alphabet. And so what that means is, and this is one thing that my grandfather taught me when I was a kid, have a look at the way that your mother tongue pronounces certain words. So you might see, say in Thai, Westerners learning Thai have a real problem saying the vowel or saying ngō ngu with this ng in the beginning. Where you can say, can you say ngō ngu? So if I say it in Vietnam, can you say ngok?
Ngok.
Okay, so you can say it, no problem. Your mother tongue is going to have a huge influence on the language that you speak. But if you learn something like IPA then, from a young age, or you're learning it from a not so young age, you learn how to use your mouth. And this is why I have this here. Actually, I like to take this wherever I go, because you actually can learn about all the parts in the mouth, what you do. And once you actually learn it, visualize it, even as an adult, you'll find that you'll be able to start to pronounce things much more closely to the way native speakers pronounce it.
So also, is this course going to teach about IPA as well?
Yeah, we have IPA, but it's there as a byproduct. So kids will learn it, but they won't realize. So I've basically designed 5 drivers for this program as I was putting it together. And so the drivers are, and I've actually got these little graphics, so you'll probably see them come up now. The first one, it's multilingual. So you ask, will they be learning all these languages or any languages? We will cover languages like Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Thai, Lao, Indonesian, Malay, not to learn them fluently, but to give a base.
Yeah, so you get a foundation of these languages.
Of sounds, of concepts, of grammatical concepts.
And how to listen to it, which is very important.
And so even as a baby, you see our baby, we're exposing sounds to her at this age and then getting her to repeat them. And so this is another important thing.
Okay.
And it's another driver is voice and ear training.
Yeah.
So if you hear the word ngok, even if you're not a Thai speaker or somewhere that has this, you can hear they're doing that and then
you can actually write it.
You can write it down and then because you know how to write that symbol, even though maybe your mother tongue doesn't have it, you can reproduce it. So if I say the word many people might just hear this as say an A. Whatever it is, but they're all different sounds.
Right.
And so we're going to be doing all these cool exercises where you actually be able to play with similar sounds of different languages, but be able to do them outside of your mother tongue and render them very precisely. Now, at the same time, every person doing Mindkraft will get to choose their own pet language project.
Okay.
It might be one of the languages that we're doing in the class.
Or the other languages that they're interested in.
Russian, Spanish, Italian, Esperanto, whatever the languages you want, everything we're learning can be directly applied to that language. And in the final session, you'll get to come out and actually show some of the stuff that you've done, which is really cool.
Okay. So this course, in a nutshell, is how to rewire your brain to learn. So you'll be able to listen to sounds,
reproduce them,
and then you will be able to think articulately.
Yeah, well,
because that's also important.
Well, you'll be able to think about what you're saying in sounds too, so you can recorrect. You can actually do self-correction, which is super important. Voice and ear training, but thought fluency and brain state control. Now, this is where the mind bit comes in Mindkraft. Now, as you know, I've worked for many years as a simultaneous interpreter for many different places. Simultaneous is, have you seen them in the booth when someone speaks, the instant they speak, you open your mouth and it's coming out. People think that's difficult. Actually, if you get me to choose between simultaneous or consecutive, where someone says a block of stuff and then you say it after them, I'll choose simultaneous any day.
Because you don't have to think about it?
I don't have to think because I've trained my brain
to just do it automatically?
It's muscle memory. So as long as I understand what they're saying, my mouth can say it.
Okay.
And the hardest thing, you don't need the actual other language. The hardest thing is to do that just in your mind and have thought fluency. So we'll actually be doing the same exercises that simultaneous interpreters from the UN do, but we'll be doing it actually just between one language, and you'll be able to start to get your brain thinking on higher levels. Also, we'll be doing things like problem solving, pattern matching. We're looking at the way that you think about things with critical thinking, analyzing things, and seeing what kind of filters we have. So it's not just language, but it's actually the whole thought and mind. My favorite neuroscientist, Dr. Andrew Huberman.
Right.
We'll be basing a lot on brain states and doing the stuff and neurotransmitters and learning how to also to get our brain in a way where we're pumped to learn.
Okay.
So that's it. Other drivers that we have, so memory pattern matching. There's one thing that is actually very important, crucial to this program that isn't necessarily to do with language, but it helps me in learning languages, and that's data skills.
Okay, so kids will be able to manage data.
Yeah, and like you see kids these days, and at schools, some schools actually only give them iPads. And that's, for me, it's like so sad because there's so much power that you have in a computer terminal. And there are some really cool functions like using the world's most powerful word processor.
Right, so okay, the program, the byproduct of this course and class would be you'll be able to manage your brain.
Yes.
Manage your brain so that you can actually manage other things like data, computer science, music, and so language is actually just a tool.
It's a tool. It's a vehicle. But
your brain.
But the cool thing is, by applying all of these things, you'll see instant results in the language.
Yeah, in the language, yeah.
Because I'm a musician. I like to play jazz, I play this. But for me, maybe the language is the thing that stands out to people. But all these principles that my grandfather taught me can be applied to everything.
Yeah.
And so you'll be able to not only have a solid foundation in principles of Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Spanish, Thai, all these going between different dialects, but you'll also have a foundation for other languages and other topics.
Right, okay. Sounds good.
So, if you are interested, we'll be running a program this time around in conjunction with Verso International School. One for 8-year-olds to 11-year-olds.
Yeah.
And so it's like 11 sessions.
Yeah.
And then another one for 12-year-olds all the way to adults. And it's going to be... Parents can come in, friends of families can come in, and I think this is going to be cool because rather than kids learning from adults, I think adults are going to see the way kids are learning and they could be inspired by that too. You will be inspired. Your kids are going to be inspired. Not knowing what to do at home, learn how to learn.
Yeah, and there's no such thing as your brain is too old to learn new things or adopt a new skill set or a mindset. We
talk about anti-aging. This is seriously anti-aging
for the brain.
For the brain.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So Mindkraft, rewire your brain to learn languages. Come to mindkraft.me.
Me, yeah.
And you can click download. You can get a one-page overview of it like this. Or if you really want to see a lesson-by-lesson syllabus breakdown,
there's on website.
It's 20 pages long, but I tell you, it's not boring reading. It's fun. And the program's going to be even more fun.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
Stuart J. Raj, Mindkraft, rewire your brain to learn languages.
Sign up now.
Right now. Okay. Mindkraft.me. Bye.
Bye.
Mindkraft rewires your brain. How do you get motivated about learning a language? How do you learn the language that they actually speak, not the one that you just read in your textbooks? How do you lose your foreign accent when speaking a language? How do you build up enough vocabulary so that you can speak on the topics that you're really interested in? How can you develop a high reading speed in a foreign script? How do you get your mouth around funny sounds and even tones in a new or foreign language? Imagine if you could not only learn but develop mastery over anything that you wanted to. A new language, a musical instrument, math, or even coding. My name's Stuart J. Raj, and I'm the founder of the Mindkraft Brain Builder series. Mindkraft is all about rewiring your brain to learn languages and exploiting brain states for enhanced levels of neuroplasticity. You were born to learn languages, and don't believe it if somebody says that you're not good at learning languages. Heck, don't believe it if you tell yourself that you're not good at learning languages. For anybody who knows me, you probably know how passionate I am about languages. Some people even say, oh, it's a gift. But you know what? It's not a gift. Our brains are language learning machines, and I'm going to show you how to tap into your brain's power, exploit the neuroplasticity that you can access in your brain, and learn languages like you never believed you could before. The Mindkraft Language Brain Builder 1 program will help you develop higher levels of neuroplasticity. You'll be developing cognitive and motor skills, learning how to use muscle memory, pattern matching, and learning how to access the voice and think about both meanings and language outside of your mother tongue. Reach linguistic goals that you never thought possible. Over the 11 weeks, you're going to get a grounding in languages like Thai, Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean, even sign language, Morse code, and Indonesian. The focus isn't to get you speaking these languages fluently, but rather you're going to be developing core skills, whether it's to do with thinking, to speaking, to using your voice, to matching patterns within language and even predicting patterns that are going to occur in languages, so that you're going to be able to take any language in the future and you'll have everything that you need to develop native-like rhythms and prosody in that language. You're going to develop the fundamental skill that UN simultaneous interpreters use, and you won't even have to speak another language to develop these cognitive skills, but it's going to help you develop thought fluency, and to top it off, you're going to be learning data skills that are going to help you gather data in the language that you're learning and make resources for yourself to learn from your environment in a way that you never thought possible. I can't wait to join you on your journey into reaching your language goals. If it sounds like this program is for you, click the link below and I'll send you a PDF that has a full overview of each module of the program. Mindkraft rewires your brain.